I'd always see how they see you versus me. I'm like the pompous guy. You know, and I think I'm humble, right?
Yeah.
But like I'm a Joburg guy.
Yeah.
So you know, like when they talk about Dash and
I'm
them
a
things from
Joburg.
Harlem, I'm a Joburg guy. You know,
yeah.
I'm like, no, but I'm gonna get
Yeah.
I'm like, but y'all niggas on some.
Yeah, dude.
Y'all got your best. Casper's your best version of like.
I was saying to somebody, dude, before you drop an album in the accolades,
So and AKA is a Joburg guy too.
through and through.
You understand?
Before the dream was, before dropping albums, the dream was, if I could just live in Joburg.
Wow.
Like Joburg was America, but to us.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
like, it's 3 hours away, right? But like the world, we're like worlds apart. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is like, where I feel like we were very fortunate growing up in Bophuthatswana, is that we had all the makings of a Joburg.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? We had BET, we had, the music culture was like really huge back home with Radio Bob. Hip hop was huge. Where a lot of the stars that came to Joburg started out in in
Bob
Bob.
Mabena, you know.
So, you know, I feel sorry for, you know, the new, my 2000. Because I think like we were kind of like born at the right time.
Yeah,
And we caught a glimpse of like Mafikeng's like greatness.
Yeah,
And we got to draw from that,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Man, that's crazy. And now when you say that it was like New York, now you can imagine someone who's in a corporate place from Mafikeng in a high position
Yeah.
where they can influence a decision.
They're a little empathetic.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, come on, put him on. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy. But like, shout out to the guys from Mafikeng, Matuako, and even the corporate people that keep plugging, because for me, that's a sign of unity.
Yeah.
You know, although y'all are fragmented, but it hasn't stopped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Real talk.
And that's a real good example of that. I mean, Nasty did it with another brand from Durban, but I know the brand is also based in Durban.
Yeah.
So you know, people are connecting the dots. You know.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you though, with all the cops thing, and I digressed a bit. There was word, and I'm not asking how much it was. There was word that like there was a settlement that was paid by the cops. I just want to find out, did the cops pay it?
Yeah. So, yo, man, you know, that case took forever, man. You know, and I think it's a big part of the reason why I felt stuck, because I had this thing kind of lingering the whole time, you know. And to this day, I don't know if it's like over. You know what I mean? My lawyers now and then will say, yo, we got one more check we need to to sort out, you know. Yeah, so they settled. And what was a sad reality for me was just like the amount of people and the fact that, you know, if I wasn't Khuli Chana, I would have been another statistic. I would have never even seen that check. You know, if I didn't have Daniel Witz and Manny and good lawyers behind me, man, it would have been just another memory. You know what I mean? So a lot of factors to it that just, you know, kind of changed my perspective and just see the world from a different eye, you know, and it was just a bit painful. Yeah.
It seems like it was really heavy for you.
Yeah, it was heavy, man, because, you know, I remember after I dropped the criminal charges, I had random people just walk up to me and be like, yo, man, my uncle got shot 10 years ago. They've done nothing about it. Please. Like, now you're like a beacon of hope for 1 million people. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I didn't ask to be in this position, you know? You got churches trying to recruit me. You've got like, it's just like, it's too much to deal with, you know? Yeah. But yeah, they settled, and it's not enough to buy an island and be like, fuck hip hop, I'm good. Yeah.
But I think, you know, I mean, out of all that, but you had the beauty of your daughter also.
Yeah.
You know, you had that as solace, you know, like life balances like in a funny way.
Yeah, that was the thing I got from the whole situation. My daughter was like 3 months, and I hadn't spent time with family in so many years. I was like a machine. I was just like, you know, secure the bag, send some money home. So you miss out on all the christenings, the the weddings, the funerals. You're that guy, and everybody's kind of used to it.
That guy, I know. They don't even.
For a solid couple of weeks, I was with mom, my cousins, my uncles, my daughter, and in the room when I had all these patches and stitches, my daughter was still in like a little, what's it called, that small bed. Yeah, you know, the baby bed.
I need to know it.
So it was just me and her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And man, I found a lot of healing through that moment. In that moment.
You mentioned your sister on diary and your pops and how you never reached out when you got shot. I mean, in today's time, that's enough for people to say they're depressed, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, you've given me a lot about like what we never knew, what was happening behind the scenes, you know? Did you ever patch things up with your dad, you know? Did he ever reach out later?
Nah, you know, it's kind of been like that for so many years, man. You know, it's just, I thought that after the shooting incident, there would be a turning point for him, you know, and I mean, that's the moment you reach out to your seat and be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I almost lost you. We got to sit down and talk things out. And that wasn't the case, you know what I mean? But a shout out to Legend. Legend, I think, does a lot of stuff with Bonang and stuff. He's like
Maglera,
I remember having a chat with him one time. He's like, you know, you're like an amazing artist, but nobody knows you. Like, you don't share much. So, you know what I mean? And I drew from that, and I just figured that if I became a little bit vulnerable and started sharing all the stuff that I've been kind of harboring, you know, people would get to know me, and I felt like I also just needed to share it, you know. I've been carrying this stuff for so many years, since childhood. The
importance, though, as a dad, though, right now, you're a dad, but like, I almost feel like sometimes you gotta have a bad dad to be a good dad.
True. True. I would have been a shitty dad if I had, I think. I think I needed that to understand that it's bigger than money. Just being present is like so much more valuable in a kid's life.
Yeah. And that means that like you're probably gonna bring a thing that has a purpose, you know?
Yeah.
So something has to break at the top so you can take care of something that needs to be taken care in the future.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, not saying people's kids, but like maybe there's really something special for your daughter where you needed to be that dad that turns around when they say that he's sick. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's why, you know, like I always think, you know, I believe there's going to be light at the end of that tunnel, even with me and my pops. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's just, I think I also wanted to relate to the guy that never had a father.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a very tough thing, especially when you move from Joburg and come here and try and navigate, and you start to make some real life decisions. You wish your pop was in your ear, you know? Man. But you know, I had uncles, man. My uncles held me down. My brothers, Toady and KG, you know, kind of played that role.
Yeah. Started sharing parents and all that.
Real talk, we did. We really did,
Straight up. And I see you got MDB on Havenots, you know. You've worked with a lot of up and coming artists. I mean, what's the thing that you listen to that you go, okay, this moves me? I mean, and remember you also around when Gigi was there. I just should have done my research, but also on Twak Stickem, you know, was it Norman? That bass track.
Notshi.
Notshi, you know. I almost feel that there's this particular ear, and it's kind of similar when you kind of choose, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's my foresight, you know. It's the same with the Keenan when he was coming up, and I think I've just been blessed with that foresight. But the thing about it is, like, I think collaboration for me, chemistry and values being aligned, like core value, you know. So what MDB represents for me, fuck, man, it's just far more greater. Like sometimes when you've been doing it for long, like I said, like, you know, like how we left Mafikeng a long time ago, so we came here to rap Mafikeng. After a while, you also like a Joburg dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he kind of took me back. He comes from Kanana. It's not a cute neighborhood, yo. It's a real neighborhood. It's a real, you know what I mean?
It's another country altogether.
Yeah, he comes from Kanana. It's a bit of a rough neighborhood, but like what he represents, and he's like a beacon of hope. He preaches positivity in that hood. He raps that hood. He speaks in their dialect. He's proud of where he comes from. He comes from the have-nots, but he takes pride in it. He's not a product. He's not. We were having that conversation earlier when you're mentally kind of slave by the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So man. And you're still proud of where you come from, and you rap it right. Yeah. He actually inspired the title Planet of the Have-Nots. So he came up with the song Have-Nots. I was battling with like a title. And I was also like, you know, every album has a purpose, right? At this point in my life, I wanna represent the have-nots. You know, also you kind of detach from a time when, like I detached from a time when me and my mom were living in a 4-room house. You know, I detached from a time when it was a time I was in the hood. It was a time that there was a time when things were not rosy, like, you know, and I think for somebody who see me for the first time, they think, this dude probably grew up in the burbs. You know, like, and I was like, yo, it's time for me to send that elevator down, back to the hood and see if I can, you know, be that beacon of hope and inspire, but like this time give them real tools to get out the hood.
Are you inspired by the Def Squad, Redman, Keith Murray era?
Eric Sermon,
listen, because you know what? I get it. I'm like, oh, I know it.
That's Eric Sermon.
I've always said it, because even Foucault said the same thing, you know what I mean? I mean, like, it's like the bass, you know, the you know what I mean?
And that's Joe King, produced by Joe King. Everyone that came on, that worked on the album, are the dudes that inspire the title. Like Joe King, self-taught. That's like crazy, self-taught. When I met Joe King, he never had a place to stay. He lived in my studio every day, working on the music. You know, guy never used to complain once. So when guys say they hungry, how hungry are you? You know what I mean? He lived on the couch, and he used to remind me a lot of myself when I was sleeping on PH's couch. You know, and the way he grinded for this album. And the thing about it was also like his age, and where do you get this vibe from? I'd expect that sound from like Toady. I'd expect it from guys from my era. He's way younger than me. But I was like, yo, you make this timeless music. You've got this old soul. His story inspired the album a lot.
That's my joint. Side note.
So Joe King did I Get It, Diary, Thank You.
He's hot.
He's amazing.
He's
Chico.
Hot. Oh, wait a minute. I'm about to get to that. For real?
Yeah, that's all Joe King.